Judy from Bungalow Quilting and Yarn, and I'm a C&T author. I'm here to explain a little bit about how to make these adorable eggs that the little plush chick and robin and snake are inside of. Now, the book has excellent instructions, but you might need a little bit of help in addition to that. So I'm here to show you how to put that egg together, because sometimes it's a little bit confusing. So the first thing you'll need are the two pattern pieces that you've downloaded. They look like this and like this. So basically, it's an egg and a half an egg. The egg side and the egg front is how they will be labeled. The egg front is the one that the zipper is going to be sewn into, and this is the one that needs some explanation. Now, if you've never sewn a zipper before, this is also a good tutorial which will help you to know how to sew zippers into future projects. So it's a good tutorial to watch even if you're not just going to do this. So I have my nylon zippers here. These zippers are pretty good. They cost about $2 a piece, and so you don't have to worry too much about getting the exact right size. The nice thing about the nylon zippers is that they're able to be cut. So you can cut them to exactly the right length. I wouldn't use my good sewing shears because it is going to make them a little bit dull in some parts if you repeatedly cut these scissors with your good sewing shears. So I've cut these to 7.5 inches. So what I did was I put these two little tabs on the top and the bottom of the zipper. And the way that we do that is by taking a 2.5 inch piece of fabric. It's probably a square, 2.5 by 2.5. And you fold the ends in and iron. And it doesn't have to be perfect, you're just folding those edges in and ironing. Because what you're going to do then is you're going to put this end of the zipper in right here, okay? And then you're going to very carefully stitch across. It helps to have your walking foot on, and you're going to stitch across the bottom of the zipper. You're going to do the same exact thing with the top of the zipper. You can pull the tab down slightly, align the edges up, pin this well so that it's not coming separated as you sew, and then you're going to stitch across there. After that, then you can trim this to the correct size. This will all be encased inside of the egg, so you really don't need to worry about back stitching and how much back stitching you need to do. Don't worry about that part. Okay, so now that we've got the zipper squared away, we're going to talk about how the zipper in the egg is put in so that you have the nicest looking results. So this can be kind of complicated. Let me explain another thing about zippers. The front of the zipper, in terms of the nomenclature of the book, the front of the zipper is the part of the zipper that has the tab. That's the front. This is the back of the zipper. The zipper also has a right side and a left side, and that's the side that you're looking at. So this would be the right side as you look at it, and this would be the left side as you look at it. So here I have with my pattern, I've cut out my pieces. I've cut this piece here, and they have to be in mirror image. This piece here and this piece here. So these two are in mirror image. All right. Then I've cut out this here and this here out of the plush. So this is the lining, this is the plush. A word about Shannon Fabrics plush fabrics. They will shed at the cut edge. After the edge is done being cut and you've shaken it, the shedding completely stops. So you're not going to have a toy or an item that is going to shed all over your house. It's just for the initial time when you're prepping it and you're cutting it, there is going to be some shedding. So a simple little handheld vac in your sewing room works great. All right, so this is the lining of my egg. This is the outside of my egg. And there are directions on how many of each of these to cut. So here is my egg lining. So I'm going to take my zipper, and because the tab needs to be on the outside, obviously you're going to have, the tab needs to be on the right side or the cuddle side. You're going to make sure that your tab, your front of your zipper, lays right sides together with your outside piece of your egg. So right sides together. So this piece of egg front with the cuddle gets laid onto the left side of the zipper, not here, okay? Even though that looks like maybe you want to do that, don't do that. This has to be right sides together with the left side of the zipper, okay? This then has to be right side up. This is the lining, and it goes underneath on the wrong side of the zipper. And then you're going to pin it, and you're going to pin it very, very well. All right, you want to pin this well when you are sewing with any fabric, but especially when you're sewing with Cuddle. You want to pin things well. My mother would probably go as far as to say you need to hand baste that, and that would work too. So you're going to put pins in here, and you're going to use your zipper foot. And then once this is sewn, you're going to sew your seam here like this. It's going to get flipped out. Okay, so this is how it looks. It's going to get flipped out like this. And then this is done in the exact same manner on the opposite side. And this, like I said, this is a good tutorial for any type of zippy pouch where you have a lining. I prefer to line everything because it just makes things so much better. So let's talk about doing this side. So you've got this side completely sewn and it looks like this, okay? We pinned it, we pulled it like this so that the right sides were out. Now we're going to do the exact same thing on the opposite side. We're going to put the Cuddle, that's mirror image of the other piece, here, and we're going to put a lining piece again on the back. You're going to pin it well, you're going to stitch here, you're going to flip it out, and you end up with this. See how that worked? This was like this, you stitched it, and you flipped it out. There. Now, the most complicated part of the egg is completely done. Once you're done with this, you're golden. You're going to do great. Now, I want you to unzip that a little bit and leave it unzipped like that, all right? So, now we're going to do the egg sides. And the egg sides are simple, super easy. Here are the egg sides. Remember, this was the egg side pattern. Okay, so you're going to cut 3 of those. And if you notice, there's dots on the egg side pattern. These dots tell you where to stop. You can stop, you can backstitch 1 or 2 stitches if you want to. You don't have to, but don't cross over that dot. You need to stay at that dot when you stop. All right, so here are my egg sides. I put 2 of them right sides together. I did backstitch just a tiny bit there, but I didn't cross over that dot. And I did backstitch up here a little bit without crossing over that dot. And then when I open it out, it looks like this. Now I need to join a 3rd egg side to that. So again, I'm going to put this right sides together, and I'm going to stitch along here all the way down and stop at the dot so that you just have a little bit of an opening there. See that? That's just going to, so that that falls open slightly. If you sew, and this is a good tip also for sewing anything that have set-in seams or hexagons or anything, if you sew right across that end, you're going to have a really hard time getting it to lay flat and getting it to look good. So you want to stop right on those dots. So I put my 3rd one on there, sewed it right sides together, flip it out, and this is what this looks like. It looks like this. All right, so we have one of these. We have 3/4 of an egg. All right, and now I want you to look and see at how nice that joining looks because I stopped at those dots. How nice and flat that's going to lay and how good that looks here and here. All right, that's a good way to join things when you have set-in seams, is to stop about 1/4 of an inch away from that edge. All right, so now I've got 3 egg sides. Now I need to have a lining with 3 egg sides. So I put my egg sides right sides together, and I do the exact same thing that I did with the plush egg sides. Now look again, here at the top, I've stopped 1/4 of an inch away. Here at the bottom, I've stopped 1/4 of an inch away, which is right on that dot. So when I say 1/4 of an inch away, I mean 1/4 of an inch away from the edge of where I'm going to start again. So I stopped right at that dot, and that dot is marked for you. You should mark it on your fabric with a marking pencil. All right, so look how nice and flat that lays at the top. Perfect. And down here, I even have a little more give. Okay, so now you're going to wonder how on earth we're going to get this all connected. And here's where it gets a little bit where you have to watch. Okay, so now I have this egg front with my zipper in it, and we pull the zipper open a little bit, leave it open a little bit, and we have 3 egg sides of the plush, 3 egg sides of the lining. All right. So now what we're going to do is, remember I said that zipper needs to be open a little bit. We're going to find the top of the egg sides and the bottom. Okay, here's my top. Now my top is going to get pinned at the top here, and then the bottom is down here. I'm going to pin this egg side to the egg front, right sides together. Pin all the way down, pin, 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 and you may even need to hand baste it. Pin it all the way down, and then you're going to stop right there, okay? Now you're going to do the same thing to the opposite side. Pin it, maybe hand baste it, because that works well. And you're going to use a walking foot, so pin it all the way down here. Okay, pin it all the way down, and stop, okay? Then you're going to stitch that. You're going to stitch it together, and it's going to look like this, all right? Now you're going to flip it over. You're going to do the exact same thing with your egg side lining. So you're going to find the top of it, find the bottom. Here's the top. It goes here to the top. Only this time, we're going to leave a piece open for turning, all right? So we're going to pin all the way down, pin all the way down, maybe hand baste it if you want to. Pin it, pin it, pin it all the way down here. Pin it all the way down here. I want to point something out, that this is the back of the zipper, right? So this is the inside, and so everything is all encased neatly. There's no raw edges whatsoever, and that's why this system works so well. And you can carry this system over to making zippy pouches of any type. You can just, once you learn how to do this, you can make cute little zippered pouches, cute little zippered bags. It's the same exact system. All right, so we've pinned this all the way down, maybe we've hand basted it, and now we're going to stitch. And we're going to start stitching right there, where we left off and we backstitched for sewing the three of them together. That's where we're going to start stitching. And we're going to stitch all the way down, and we're going to stop stitching at the bottom there. Don't run across it. No need to run across all three of the other ones. Just, you're only stitching these two together. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about this. Just stitch these two together and stitch these two together. All right? But you're going to leave a section open for turning. And there is my one that, and you can imagine that the graphics in the book are, it's tricky to draw something like this. It's got all these different sides. It almost looks like you're putting a pumpkin together or a piece of fruit. And look at all the different sides that it has. And you can imagine it's kind of hard to draw something like that. So that's why I really wanted to do this video and really show you solidly how to do something like this. Now I left a section open for turning. Here's my section open for turning. I didn't leave a huge part open for turning, but it doesn't really need to be. Just work it gently. Okay, so here we're going to give birth through that tiny little hole. We're going to give birth to an egg, right? All right, so here we go. We're turning this right sides out. And remember I said to leave that zipper open, and I'll show you why we left that zipper open partly, all right? So this is going to take some time. Don't get frustrated. Don't try to rip too hard because your seams will start to rip. All right, so here we go. You can see that we're turning it right sides out. With plush fabrics, this is the basic Shannon Cuddle. Sometimes with the egg for the snake and the egg for, no, the chick was the basic and so was the robin, but the one with the snake is a thicker Shannon Cuddle. If you're using a luxe, it's going to take a little more time to turn this right sides out, so don't get frustrated. All right, so here we go. Now you see why we had the zipper open partly too. So now we've got our egg turned right sides out, and then you're going to go back and you're going to hand stitch, yes, that awful word, hand stitch. Hand stitch, because I hardly ever do any hand stitching, but in this case I'll make an exception. Hand stitch this closed right here, hand stitch that closed nice and neat, use a nice invisible stitch. Make sure it's strong because you're going to have a little kid playing with this, all right? Stuff it back inside, and you have a magical, adorable egg that your chick will fit into. Wouldn't that be cute at Easter? Easter candy in there. What other times of the year do we use eggs? We use them for lots of different things, but super cute. Good way to make a little pouch of any type. You could tie something onto the end of that zipper that might be, relate to whatever type of animal you put inside of this egg. Whether it's a little stuffed snake or a little stuffed bird, either one would work just great. And that is how you sew the incredible egg. Thank you so much for watching. This is from the book Sew Cuddly by Judy Gauthier for C&T Publishing, and I hope you watch again. Thank you.